Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is USAF Mobius, just doing a quick review on this rifle case I got for some upcoming travel. Originally, I wasn't going to do a review on it, I was just going to use it for travel and be done with it, but once it showed up, I found a few issues with the case, something that I couldn't really find anybody else talking about online, so I figured I'd do my own review. This is the all-weather tactical 42-inch rifle case from Plano. Like I said earlier, there's a few issues with it. It has a few upsides and a few downsides. Right off the bat, there's a lot of latches, so that's good. It kind of gives it good, solid closure. Nothing that you could really open unless you really want to. I think one of the negatives are these latches. It's hard to see from the video, but these latches, the actual latch is only like, geez, I'd say that thing's only really like 4 to 3 millimeters deep that grabs on and actually holds the latch closed. So that's, I think, its biggest draw. On one part, I could see it actually cracked. That one's cracked right there, and on the other one, it looks like all 3 cracked. Now, it'll still grab a good latch enclosure. That's how it got shipped to me. Wasn't very happy about that, but it'll actually still close pretty good. Let me see if I can get it snap closed. So it'll still snap closed, and it doesn't really, it pops off super easy once they're broke. So that's the really huge downside to them. The other downside is it's only 3 millimeters. So let me go ahead and show you guys something here real quick. This one has all the latches on it. None of them are broke. You latch it. It's got 2 locks on the front. The other one does as well. So even if they work perfectly fine, this is still its biggest downfall. You lock it, you can't open the latch anymore. But since it's only about a 3 millimeter deep latch, you just pop that sucker right open, and there's nothing that really keeps it from, there's no real security on it. So that is a huge downfall, in my opinion. Does come with 2 keys. As I said before, there's 2 locks only on the front. It also has up here a place to put a keypad through, or like a padlock, sorry, a padlock locks. I'm gonna end up having to do that just because the poor quality of these latches, even they're locked, they're easily defeated just by hand. You don't even need a tool. But moving on from that, you have all your latches. It's originally the way that you get this case is it shows up like this. It's got the eggshell crate on top, and then it's got this removable foam padding in there. It doesn't cover the whole thing. It actually stops at the edges there, so you have a little bit less of an insert. It doesn't cover the whole entire case, so if you have something that's going to go from end to end, you can't really use this unless you're willing just to take a knife to it, which is, in my opinion, not a big deal. But you could cut it out. The foam layer is pretty thick, so what I've read online is as you take it out, cut the foam that you've removed in half and lay it back in, and that'll keep the rifle nice and flush. Once I do that, I'll upload that video to this video as well, and I'll show you like an end product. That's it. That's the cutout that I'm going to end up using. On the bottom, there still is another egg crate foam padding, so in case you don't want to use the foam insert, or for my case, I'm going to fill this thing up. I'm going to have this thing loaded with as much as I possibly can because I'm going to be going on a trip. I'm going to need a few things with me. I'm not just going to need one rifle. So you can also use it this way if you want. On the bottom of the case, there is a pressure release valve. It's nothing fancy like other brands or the Pelican case where they have a press to release button. It's a screwdriver twist to open, twist to close. After messing around with it and after using it on the flight, it actually doesn't even hold pressure very well. It says not over tighten, and if you play around with it, even when you have it closed, you can still hear the pressure coming in and out. Alright guys, now that I talked about the basics of the case, let's talk about what the case looks like once you're done setting it up. I'm not going to try to sit here and tell you how to set yours up or what to do to set it up. I'm sure you guys could figure that out. I just want to show you what an end product could look like. So you have the two different foam inserts underneath, like I showed you before. You have the egg crate. On top you have the pick and pull foam squares. So once you cut up the foam squares, I cut mine out so it'll fit pretty much all my AR type platform rifles. I don't think you're going to be able to get it so you could fit every single gun in there unless you just take out the squares altogether. But I set mine up so any AR type rifle will fit in there. So hell, even my Scar will fit in there on top of any ARs that I have. So, like I said, I cut it out for a pretty generic size. So, one tip that somebody wrote is if you don't keep the A crate in there, especially for pistols, once you pull them out, cut these squares in half. You have the squares, cut them in half, you could pull them in half, and then lay them back down, and it'll help keep your pistol flush with the top, so it doesn't sink all the way in there. It looks a little bit more presentable. The rifles, you don't really need to worry about that so much. I kept a couple of the squares because my hand guards are a little different, so I could throw that in there, and then it looks a little bit more nice. Cut out some easy slots so I could throw some mags in there, and then same thing with this one right here. I cut it out so you could throw a pistol in there, and I could double stack them, put two in there. Like I said, the little tip and trick that I'd offer is try to cut it out so you can fit multiple AR type firearms in there. If you have multiple, keep a couple of these square foam cutouts, so if you have different handguard sizes, and then cut the foam slots in half so your pistol sits flush instead of sitting all the way down at the bottom. Well, that's what it looks like with the foam squares in there. One tip I've read is to use this Plastidip stuff and spray it over it when you're done, and it'll help keep these slots from lifting up. Plus it gives it a really dark black nice up here, so it looks better. So let me go and do that, and I'll cut back to it. One other thing before I decide to go use the Plastidip on this stuff, which you could still go back and forth between both of them, Alum and Plastidip, is this foam cover, just like that, out on the floor, and give it that nice, really dark black appearance. But for this, if you decide just to go with A crate, this thing will fit a lot in here. So this is with just the A crate loading up for max. I got a whole AR in here, a whole bolt action gun, and I was able to get my pistol still in there, and maybe a couple slots left to throw some magazines and stuff around there. The rifle case is pretty sturdy. I could feel the plastic flexes in a few spots, and overall this is about 40 pounds with all the stuff that I have in here. And I can feel that's probably about the max that it could really take. You're not going to be putting 100 pounds in here and the case still take it really well. This is not a Pelican. Alright guys, so here's the final product. After you do the Plastidip and get it cut out exactly what it needs to be, this is the best the case will be. Now, unfortunately, like I said before, it's locked, comes with the keys, but locks are easily defeated. So you'll have to use the padlock screws that it comes with, otherwise security on this is pretty much a joke. Same thing here, this one's locked as well. Can't open it up, but just like that, all it takes is a quick little grip. So this is after it's been Plastidiped and cut out just right. This is kind of what it looks like. Nice, and for the most part flush. I didn't put the half cutouts of these underneath it because I have different rifles. I kind of sit at different lengths, so I didn't really worry about it too much. The Plastidip, for the most part, kind of fills in right here. Didn't do so well right there, but you kind of see it. Looks real smooth right here. Some parts were hit or miss, but it kind of keeps them together. It gives it more dark, sleek appearance. So overall, in case you just fast forward to the very end of the video to see what I say, the case is the bare minimum you'd probably need to get through like TSA or whatever with a rifle case. It locks pretty good if you have padlocks right through here. This is still locked. Like I said, all you got to do is unlatch it, and pretty easy to defeat. Overall, it's a decent case. Definitely not a Pelican or anything. For 60 bucks, it is what it is. It's a bare minimum case to get you through travel, and the security on it sucks. So, pluggable inserts, eggshell underneath and on top. So that's my review. I say it's okay. For 60 bucks, it's not a bad deal. I guess you kind of just have to look past the downfalls and buy some padlocks if you're really trying to transport it through the airport or anything. But if you're just trying to look for a really nice case for at home and you don't want to buy a Pelican case, but you want to kind of go a little bit more out, this is perfect. This is exactly what you... But if you're looking for something a little bit more heavy duty or something with a little bit more security where the locks actually work, you might want to spend the extra money on a different brand or a Pelican case. I've even read some things online that said this is not a total weatherproof case, even though it's called an all-weather tactical. So that is my review of the all-weather tactical rifle case by Plano.